बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नाज़रीन अस्सलाम वालेकुम। 72 न्यूज़ के प्रोग्राम टेक्नोलॉजी टाइम्स में मोहम्मद फुरकान के साथ आपका होस्ट मोहम्मद फुरकान एक दफ़ा फिर हाजिर है। इस वक्त हम जो टेक्नोलॉजी के ज़रिए हम एक दूसरे से रब्ता करते हैं या हम जो भी इसकी एप्लीकेशंस को यूज़ करते हैं इंडस्ट्री के अंदर, अपने घर के अंदर, कमर्शियल या एजुकेशन या मेडिसिन के अंदर, वो ऑल द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ दिस टेक्नोलॉजी डिपेंड्स टोटली ऑन नेटवर्क्स। और नेटवर्क्स हैं क्या? छोटे नेटवर्क्स हैं जो कि हमारे अपने घर के अंदर हमारे वाईफाई राउटर से हमारे डिवाइसेस कनेक्टेड हैं। हम उसके ऊपर अपने टीवी को कनेक्ट करते हैं, अपने मोबाइल डिवाइसेस को, अपने लैपटॉप्स को। और उसके अलावा जो सा है हमारे जितने भी आजकल के जो वेरेबल डिवाइसेस हैं जो कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ हमारी जो डेवलपमेंट हो रही है, जो कि विद इन लास्ट फ्यू ईयर्स हमने इसको मॉनिटर किया है और ऑब्जर्व किया है, एक्सपीरियंस किया है। जितने भी डिवाइसेस होते हैं वो सारे के सारे उस नेटवर्क का हिस्सा होते हैं। तो एक छोटा नेटवर्क होता है जो कि हमारे घर के अंदर एक नेटवर्क के तौर पर काम कर रहा है, जिसके अंदर अब आहिस्ता आहिस्ता हमारे स्मार्ट टेलीविजन, स्मार्ट रेफ्रिजरेटर, स्मार्ट माइक्रोवेव ओवन, स्मार्ट वॉशिंग मशीन्स, तो ये नेटवर्क ग्रो करता जा रहा है। और अब इसको अगर हम कंपेयर करते हैं बड़े नेटवर्क्स के साथ, तो उसमें जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है कि मुख्तलिफ नेटवर्क्स मिलके एक बड़े नेटवर्क का हिस्सा बनते हैं। और उसके अंदर क्या चीज़ें होती हैं, नेटवर्किंग होती क्या है, कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क्स क्या होते हैं, उनके डिफरेंट एलिमेंट्स क्या होते हैं, और उसमें किस तरीके से इनकी कैपेसिटी इंक्रीज हो रही है। कि पहले अगर हम बात करते थे तो हम मिसाल के तौर पे आज से कुछ अर्सा पहले तक की हम बात करते हैं 5 to 10 years ago, तो हम देखते थे कि हमारे पास जो हमारा घर का नेटवर्क है तो वो उसके अंदर हार्डली 4 से 5 डिवाइसेस होते थे। अब तो हर इंडिविजुअल के साथ तकरीबन 4 से 5 डिवाइसेस ऑन एवरेज कनेक्टेड हैं। तो ये ग्रोथ किस तरीके से बढ़ रही है और इसका हमारी इंडिविजुअल लाइफ पे क्या इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है, और एज अ सिविलाइजेशन हम किस डायरेक्शन में हेड कर रहे हैं, और ये जो नेट टेक्नोलॉजी है स्पेशली जो नेटवर्क्स की है, इसकी कैपेबिलिटी क्या है और ये किस तरीके से इवॉल्व हो रही है यूजर की रिक्वायरमेंट्स के हिसाब से। So, ladies and gentlemen, for that we have an expert in our studio today, and she has a marvelous background. She is a subject matter expert of networks. She, at a very young age, she has a lot of publications and patents and book chapters at her name. She has completed her PhD. She is currently doing research in computer networks in Queensland University of Technology, and I would like her to introduce herself. To the audience and what she has been doing and what she is looking forward to. And we welcome you, Dr. Bhargav Goswami, to our studios. Good evening.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be a part of this interview.
Can you please introduce to our audience that what
Yes.
Dr. Bhargav Goswami is? Because when I met you for the first time, it was really an honor. Plus, I was really amazed to see your achievements, the publications you have, the patents you have, and the research work you have been doing. It's marvelous, and especially helping the young fellows who are coming to the field of research and who are looking for guidance or mentorship. You have been a mentor, you have been a good colleague, you have been a good researcher. So it's a marvelous journey which started from India and currently it's progressing in Brisbane, Australia. So I would like you to introduce yourself to the people and to the audience that how you have managed all these achievements.
It's a step-by-step process, which the key factors where I should say the consistency and like stability, that was the main thing. Like in all the situations, ups and downs, that's part of life. It's like life is always a sine wave. But in that, keeping your purpose of life alive and working towards it without fail, focusing on it always, partly, not 100%. Balancing the life is the main thing, but keep doing it continuously helps you. So actually, I did my bachelor's, master's, and immediately, very next year, I joined the PhD. And that's why at very young age, it all got completed. And until I should say this, that until I was doing bachelor's and master's, I was not that focused. But then when I started getting in depth into the research field, I realized that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then even after completion of my PhD, I continued to actively contribute and be active towards research and development and contribution through learning, means teaching and learning and doing research. It continued, and then this happened. So slowly, step by step, one thing at a time, that's it. And that it kept on adding into it, and we reached here.
Okay. And just to let you know, that 72 News, which we are currently talking on, it's a TV channel that is giving a voice to especially the immigrants who are from different communities, especially the Desi people like us, who have been contributing to the economy, who have been contributing to the development, who have been contributing to the growth of Australian country, and they have been unsung heroes, and they have not been given the limelight they deserve. And people like you are our real asset, and it's an image that we want to carry forward to our country, that how the immigrants from different countries, from different cultural, from different religious background are contributing to the growth of this country. So let's come to the topic that you are an expert in computer networks and how these things have been we have been utilizing in our daily life, and they have been impacting. So I just gave an example that just a couple of a few years ago, we used to have about 5 to 6 devices in a home that were connected to the Wi-Fi. But now, on average, it's 5 to 6 devices per person, and it's growing exponentially. Especially the data traffic it is generating. It's growing exponentially again. And how do you think that these things are, these networks? Without network, technology is nothing. Even if you talk about artificial intelligence, we talk about virtual reality, we talk about industrial automation, we talk about Industry 4.0, we talk about 5G, we talk about anything. Networks is there. It's just like, correct me if I'm wrong, that it's just like the nervous system of a human body, that without nervous system, the body cannot function properly. Although all the organs, they have their own importance. Heart has its own importance, kidneys have its own importance. But without the nervous system, we cannot perform as an organism. So, but let's ask the expert that how these networks are helping us and how they are evolving, requiring the all the demand of the user, exponential growth of traffic, and number of devices are increasing every day. So, how do you see this growth, and what we should expect from the future? That how many devices should I have to carry, or how many devices in my home will be there, or how much data as a single person I will be generating?
I see a very different future in comparison of just now. We have many devices, but we have to carry it. I think that carrying number of devices will reduce to maybe just one small device, or maybe we are carrying the devices in our body itself in the form of watch or some belt or something. That's enough. And I think the future is that every single machine is connected to internet, and they are communicating and doing the things with the help of artificial intelligence, and they will not even expect our intervention until there is a situation of a big error or something really we need to work upon. They will work on their own. All the devices will be connected to internet. So internet is going to scale. So far, what we have been doing is we were making our technology of networks mature and taking up the demand and covering the entire world. Now the focus will be how to make the networks not just a mechanical or physical uh, dimension. It should be also, we should have the consciousness added to it in the form of artificial intelligence. So that's what now we are supposed to make our devices smarter to handle themselves on their own, making them independent of us so that we are not always busy handling them. Rather than that, we will be now like we want the devices same as our children to grow up, and then they are independent, and then we are also independent.
So we have been following news and different mainstream and social media, and especially when we are talking about scientific publications or journals, which you are following, obviously. We are talking about computer quantum networks. When do we expect them to be our daily life device based on quantum networks or quantum computing? We have been hearing about it a lot.
It is still like it's not. I'm not the right person to comment on it, but still, it has time to touch the lives. And before means it's still very much immature technology. It has still minimum. I predict minimum 10 years to touch the life. But before that, artificial intelligence will touch the networks and life of humans, and they will cover up major requirements. Networks will become smart within a span of next 3 to 4 years, and they will become smarter. The devices will become smarter to handle themselves very well. Network demand will increase, but as we have the expectation from 5G, so it will suffice the requirements.
Yep. Obviously, but still, if you're talking about 5G, they said that IoT or machine type communication, they have to provide the requirement is 100,000 devices per square kilometer. And Cisco is predicting about 30 billion devices by the end of this year. And 30 billion devices mean that on average, every person will be having about 6 to 7 devices. And this is a great increase. And we can see that if we talk about Wi-Fi router, which we have, the normal person has it in their home, which is connected to NBN, ADSL, or Optus or Telstra. Do they have any limitation? For example, if there are 4 people living in a household and the number of devices per person are increasing, so the devices which we use to communicate with the internet, do they have any limitation, or do we have to upgrade those devices as well when we have number of devices increasing?
No, we do not have to update that. I think the number of devices we can control it on our own. With we have admin rights, and I think minimum every single device which is coming gives us minimum channels of 32. So the weak most or the very much stagnant, less powerful access points also can connect at least 32 channels. So that is enough for a family of 5 or 8, because there are different age group when the families are there. So it's obvious that the two members who are very young or who are very old, they will not be accessing the number of devices. The number of devices are expected to be used by mature members. So I don't think it's not going to be a problem. But yeah, when we consider the IoT, then obviously there are at least a fridge and like 6 devices minimum touching the internet, always connected. So they will occupy those channels which are allocated by our access point. So in that case, I don't think there is a requirement as of now. But when 5G will come, maybe we have to change our access point, because
Exactly.
yeah, because 5G is what is the future and is very much near future. Like every home should be having it. NBN and all are good that 40 Mbps they are giving. As of now, for home requirements, it's enough. But it's not going to be enough when artificial intelligence record expectations will be added to the networks. So if IoT, artificial intelligence, and networks combine together, then the network will be congested. And for that, there is no option but 5G.
And one more element, I think, for the network congestion or data traffic increase is the streaming services. I guess previously we used to have dish TV network, or it was a separate network, or we used to have cable TV. It was again a totally separate network. But now we are accessing all the broadcast and streaming service again through our single connection which we are using for the internet. And I guess that this is one of, and especially the resolution of those TV channels is increasing from HD to UHD. And soon, I guess we will be having 3D TV channels as well, especially sports. And those things are also adding alarming data to the traffic, and this would be a big element as well. So, considering this IoT and number of devices every user has, and if we talk about maybe it might not be your domain, but when a person has a lot of devices, he has a lot of accounts as well for different applications. He has different accounts, and he or she has different logins, credentials, and so how much data security? But I think the right question for you would be the network security, that if you are heading towards IoT and MMTC and 5G and a lot of number of devices per household, I'm not talking about commercial or corporate because they already have specialized network and data and cybersecurity applications. But for a normal household, how much you feel that we should have awareness of network security, and what minimum can we do to make our home network secure?
The minimum requirement is dependent on the service provider for sure, because I have seen that the service providers are providing security to the customer, but the breach is happening at the same end. So that is the biggest risk, and that risk cannot be that controlling is not possible at home or at the end host. The controlling has to happen at the server side, where the employees who are managing the network, they do not breach the security. That's the only way to control it. Otherwise, if we talk about home, yeah, the small basic things like focusing on the passwords, keep changing it, this all things will work, because that complex security is not required, because are not doing everyday money transactions. All the members are not a part of it. Yes, two or three,
Okay.
maximum five out of some eight members. But maximum also is not every day. Every day is only one or two members of the family. So in that case, security has to be there on the devices, but access point, if you want to secure, it's difficult because you can only select the type of security. You can do nothing further, nothing else you can do addition as far as networks is concerned. It's not in your hands. So when the things are not in your hands, you can do nothing. But what you can do is you have to be aware of the scams going on around. Call. There are certain situations you should never let it happen. For example, you get a call from, suppose, Telstra, that give me access to your computer network is not getting connected properly, and somebody or someone else or your neighbors are using your data, so we will provide you security. Please provide access through TeamViewer or some such softwares. Then if you give it, then there is no control. Then everything is in their hands and they can do all the transactions and everything they can take the control of. That is very risky. Such situations you should be aware of. As a person, you should also get your family members aware of these things. Then the number of calls we are getting saying that you transfer the money, or some tax related calls will come that okay, I'm calling from the tax department and there is a arrest warrant against you because you have not paid the tax on time. And this kind of things threatens the youngsters, especially those students who have recently come to the country, are not aware of the rules and regulations, are not aware what is the situation, and the accent they depend on. And that is not real accent, it's a fake accent. You should be aware that it's okay. That even if somebody who is talking in Aussie or Australian accent or any other accent other than your country, don't get afraid and take the wise decision. Don't take carried away with any kind of threats they give you, because that is what is the policy. They start with a very basic thing that first they threaten you, then you are afraid, then they control the situation, and then they take the advantage of the situation. So that step one threat should not happen. Then you are safe.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, let me explain that Dr. Bhargav Goswami, she is an expert. She is currently doing research on smart grid, neighborhood area network. So it's a very, obviously, it's a very technical topic, but I would like Dr. Goswami to just give us a clue that what smart grid is, because it's coming up in immediate future. We will be using smart electricity, and what is it, and how it is going to be deployed, and how it is going to be uh, impact our lives.
In short, if I say, it's just that we are making your uh, meters, electricity meters, smart. So they are not just going to give you how much units you have consumed and what is the bill. No, a far more details will be provided to you. Appliances wise details will be provided to you. That which appliance is consuming how much power in what portion of the day throughout the bill cycle. And that graph formats you will be provided, and that is what is the plan it's still working on, because that data we can see, but we cannot provide it to the users, and we want to make it reach to the users, and where users start thinking that, oh, bill is high, and they start reducing the consumption by all means, but actually only one of the devices is faulty, and that is resulting into the high bill. So that's what is the target of smart grids. We want to make the meters, the electricity meters, smart, so that they can distribute, they can take the data, take it to the distribution center or the source, and then compute and finalize it and decide whether there is a chance that the users who are also having additional facilities like solar power, then yeah, you have got the bills zero, but if the meters are smart, they will get you paid. So your bill should be actually not in debit or not even zero, it should be in credit, where we can generate the excessive energy, can distribute it, and carry it forward to the industry who have the higher demand, and then we can get the payment from the industry and get it reached to the normal homeowners. So that's all our small areas where we are going to contribute and collect and connect it. The special thing is electricity network is different, and data network, or what we call internet network, is different. But smart grid is a concept where two networks work in parallel and correlate with each other, and with combination result into a better future for the electricity users and electricity generators also.
Okay, and I have seen, and you are known to guide youth, especially from our countries of origin who have been coming for research, and even they are doing research in their respective countries. You are known to help them out for publications, doing research, helping them out in going for higher studies, and even for their jobs and internships, and going for experience or learning something new through certifications or through different courses. You are a person who can be said to be a real mentor for the students and people who are entering into the market as fresh graduates. So at the end of our program, I would like you to give some guidance to the youth in Australia, and youth originating from our countries of origin, from India and Pakistan, and in different parts of the world, how they can progress in these computer networks or smart grids. What is the future challenges which they can address in their research, or they can look to while doing their research?
I
from the beginning, because that will address majority of the students. The students come here thinking that okay, I'm going to a better country like Australia, Canada, and UK and USA, and I will do my masters and I will settle down there. Once they come here, they realize that it's not the only thing which is enough. Finding the job and completing the masters would not make them reach to the points which is required for them to settle down in that country. So what happens is then in that, like, we take the example of Australia. Most of the time this happens that they complete the masters and then they have 2 years of masters completed. After that 2 years they get extra, and after the within that 2 years they have to collect the points that much that they get the permanent residency. But that doesn't happen because it takes time to collect the points by means of PTE or IELTS or NATI, experience in their own field. Now they are not clear still that what is the field they want to go for. They are still in the dilemma after masters that whether they want to go for programming, they want to go for networks. So for those students, I would like to say that please don't take risk. Have a safe plan ahead. In that case, what happens is once the 2 years are over, they again restart the second master. This will not help the students. That will not help the finally the career of the students. Don't get carried away with other small scale businesses or careers. The dream which you have come with, you follow that. Maybe there are some hardships, it's okay. But then carry forwarding it is necessary. For that reason, the future is of research and development. There is nothing happening which is stagnant. Any one skill you take it today, its lifespan is only 3 to 4 years. You have to update. So better go for a research oriented degree because you have big scholarships available. Majority of the universities are providing the scholarships. So in that case, if you choose research, it is better in comparison of paying the hefty amount as a fee for master degree. And additionally, that research and development will make a very big door open for you, which will lead you to multiple fields like industry, academics, and independent startups. Whereas master degree will open only one, that is just the job oriented options. I'm not saying that you will not get the job, but that will buy you a time and a deep thought on what career you want. So this will help you ahead. So parallelly, if you start and research has additional points, suppose you do research in science and technology, you get extra 10 points. But if you do masters, it's the same. So even if you are thinking about master, think about master by research because you have a research degree, so that will give you 5 points. Additionally, you will get a science and technology. Those who are doing IT's professionals, they can choose any field from the science. So that is basic science. So if you are into the networks and security, Australia has many opportunities in industry and additionally the academics, because always if you see, I have observed this, that when we see the distribution into five different data science and then programming and BS and all other places, we see that networks and securities to number of students are highest because they get grabbed by the market. That's why that number does not reduce always. Otherwise, in a year or two, that change should reduce, increase, but that doesn't happen. So I recommend the students that after they complete their masters, they should look forward to research oriented courses, which will also open, as I mentioned, the startup. Maybe during that 2 years of masters of research, you come up with something which you may start to make a product out of it and start bringing it to the market. It's like starting a business, and business, if we say business, the number of means the points requirement is very less. If you have a business and for 2 years and with some minimum requirement of turnover, you can get the permanent residency. So there are multiple paths to reach to the permanent residency. Those who are willing to settle down in the first world countries, but that will also, as I mentioned, will have this options open. So please keep it open. And additionally, I would like to say that I have been passionate about research, but it has enhanced a lot my teaching skills, because I cannot carry forward the same teaching of the books which we used to do it before 10 years. Now we cannot do that because that is easy available on internet for the students. So what matters, what happens is the research which gives you, which drives you towards your passion. So I recommend students to go and look for the research oriented courses in the future, and people are there to help. Those researchers are basically contributing by nature. So they will keep on helping, supporting, because their basic job is to support and enhance and push the technology towards the mankind betterment. That's what is the ultimate aim of every researcher.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Goswami, she is an exceptional person, exceptional researcher, amazing engineer, and she has her impact in India, in Australia, and she is known to help and guide a lot of engineers and students and fresh graduates. And she, in such a young age, she has a lot of publications, patents, book chapters to her name. She has been teaching in India, she has been teaching in Australia, and it was really an honor to host her at our program. And ladies and gentlemen, this was Technology Times with MuhammadFurqan, and this program is exclusive on 72 News. You can watch it on Facebook, you can stream it on YouTube. It is available on Jadoo TV, and we are trying our best to get this program, which is one of a rare program, as if we compare to other TV channels, that we are addressing the issues related to the technology, and we try to get best of the industry guests from different countries, from different backgrounds, and we try to learn from their experience, from their exposure, and we try to give you an opportunity to learn from the experts in the industry. And we look forward for hosting such talented people every Sunday at 6 p.m. Australia Eastern Standard Time. And this was the program for today. It was really an honor, Dr. Goswami, for hosting you. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors and your research. And ladies and gentlemen, this is MuhammadFurqan signing off from Brisbane. Look forward to see you next Sunday. Good evening.
Thank you.